Good day, and welcome to another edition of Agent X11, Hollywood Dark Journalist. Another light in this darkened world. I'm your host, Penny L.A. Shepherd, Agent X11. My co-hosts are David Zublick, Heather Day, Brad Conley, and Chris Montgomery.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. We are tonight's entertainment.
X11, Hollywood Dark Journalist, begins now. And welcome to another episode of Agent X11, Hollywood Dark Journalist. I am Agent X11, Penny L.A. Shepherd, and welcome to the show. David Zublick, my friend, thank you for joining me.
Oh, my pleasure as always. This is a fantastic show. What you have done with this show in the few months that it's been. Folks, if you're not watching the show, go to the archives, watch all the previous episodes, subscribe to the channel. I mean, this is really what Dark Outpost used to be, and now it's free to everybody, and we cover some great topics. Penny, you ought to be congratulated. Great show.
Well, you taught me pretty much everything I need to know in this field, from building a thumbnail to everything that I'm doing today. I owe to you, and including this platform.
We're very glad to have you doing it, really.
Now, this actually started because David had a subscription service for Dark Outpost, and it went down. Dark Outpost went dark. He still has the brand. However, I was thinking, how can I still do the shows that for the whistleblowers that we created series for? And hence Agent X11 was born. It's actually my AKA. Because I am the real 11, unfortunately, depicted in Netflix Stranger Things. Today, we have Christy Campbell, but we have Brian Tseng. Brian Tseng presents, and I'm going to give you a little intro as to who Brian is. Get your tickets for the Full Disclosure Now Conference 2025 with their host and event coordinator, Brian Tseng, and Winnie the Wonder Dog. Why attend the 2025 Full Disclosure Now Conference? A chance to be part of something truly special. Recharge and renew. Have a transformative experience. Gain exclusive insights and knowledge. Connect with true visionaries. Ignite your passion and connect. And now, some highlights from the 2024 conference.
Join your fellow Starseeds, Lightworkers, and Experiencers at the 2024 Full Disclosure Now Conference, this July 15th to 18th. This conference will be a fun and positively life-changing experience for so many. In addition to 4 days and nights of presentations, there will be special event dinners, dancing, fun time on the beach, UFO night watch tours, film screenings, vendors, and more at the lovely Serrata Beach Resort on St. Pete Beach, Florida. Over 34 Montauk Project survivors, Secret Space Program whistleblowers, ET contactees, and psychic healers will be presenting in the name of the Full Disclosure Movement. The truth must be revealed if we're all to achieve our Star Trek future here and now. Get your event passes and book your stay now at fulldisclosuremovement.org.
We welcome Brian Tseng, fulldisclosuremovement.org now. And Brian Tseng presents Miss Christy Campbell.
Hi.
Thank you for joining us.
Thank you for having me.
Now,
This 2 weeks has been a lot of fun with you.
I know.
So we're looking forward to this.
Yeah, I got a lot of different stuff too. Like my 20 and back, I sketched it out and everything. So I can show that in my
nice.
artwork.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's perfect because the first 2 sessions we got to speak about the Montauk Project and one of Christie's alters or clones named Raylene, who did a 20 and back with the Montauk Project.
Oh, wow.
And I know that we didn't get the chance to discuss one of her other alters who Christy refers as her honeypot altar. This was the one who was directly assigned to George H.W. Bush in the programs, and where Christy, as her honeypot altar, had to do time in service or in enslavement and exploitation at the Mothers of Darkness Castle, also known as the Chateau Lamoureux, the Chateau of Kings, Castle of Kings in Belgium. And I was hoping that Christy would be able to recount some of those recalls with us today. And also, I just wanted to kind of begin this episode with the fact that Christy, who she remembers from these programs, I like to throw out names to get everyone in our community cross-referencing each other. And so Christy and I went through this list. She remembers Joseph Powell, Arkin Ra, Rocco Fowler, James Rink, Max Spears, James Casbolt, Susan Long, Veronica Bartolini, Steve Shearer, Angie Dollar Maxwell, Leah Watterson, Carol Van Sing, Preston Nichols, Al Bielik, Stuart Sverdlow, who was in charge of snuff films, where he would make them dress in black leather and do BDSM to each other, the children.
Oh,
and that was
good
including
God.
James Rink, Arkin, Max Spears, Joseph, and Stuart Sverdlow getting tortured together and torturing each other. And it goes on, but I always like to emphasize who remembers who, because it really shows how strong everyone's testimonies are out there.
Mhm.
So please, Christy,
Yeah.
if you could share with us about your honeypot altar.
Well, I'll start with being with George Bush. I kind of drew it out like this way, so I hope everybody can kind of see how that is.
Yeah.
Where he would come into my room. I was in like an abandoned psych ward, and this was when I was around 5 years old, and this is my first memory of the 20 and back, and it's the George Bush Senior 20 and back. So he's in the whole experience throughout that 20 and back. He'll just come and check on me throughout that time. So this is where he would come in, and this is when the grooming would begin into that in this 5-year-old, and this is like the I would say this is a clone, because it's my consciousness being cloned in this other reality. You know, this isn't in my physical 3D reality. This is another
Yes.
reality. Yeah, and so this is an abandoned room, like in a psych ward, and he would come in and give me, he would read a book to me, and it would have these little mind program things in it. And there was a nurse that took care of me, and I was the only one in there, and it kind of looked like this, the layout of it. I don't know if that's blurry. Is that blurry?
No, we
And
can see
then,
it.
yeah,
And
so I was the
then
only one
Christy,
in there.
and Christy, when you say it wasn't necessarily this same reality, is it? It was you. Your is some of your consciousness put into a clone, and
Yes.
was it in this timeline or a parallel timeline? Is what you're
Like
saying?
another parallel timeline, you know,
Okay.
and taken 20 out and then returned, you know,
Okay.
like
So
that
the
kind of a
time
thing.
travel aspect as
Yeah.
well. Okay.
Yeah. And then this is the nurse. She was sitting in, is my mic echoing a little bit?
No, you sound
Mhm.
great.
Okay. So this is a nurse that she would be the one that would watch over me, feed me, bathe me. And she just kind of watched over me when no one else was there, you know, and only George Bush would come in, and he would he would just come in and do those things. And he was also prepping me to be able to do the honey pots as well by doing the cattle prodding, you know, up inside of me, and those kinds of things, saying, programming my mind, saying like pleasure is pain, pain is pleasure, you know, kind of reversing that. So then I wouldn't even feel anything when I'm sent out to do these jobs at these places. So this is I remember going to
Because when you're on jobs, Christy, if you show uh, pain or the fact that you're unhappy, often they'll punish you.
Yeah, if you cry too much and stuff, you know, they don't like that. They just like you to behave and stuff, you know, the old men and everything. And then George Bush would get complaints about it, and then I would get in a lot of trouble. So he would always say stuff to me like, be a good girl, you know, do as you're told, and make me proud. And then, so I always did. I was
And this is
really
all
good.
programmer handler
Yeah.
101.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, and so then that was that. I didn't draw the mansion. That was kind of hard to draw the details of going to these places for honeypots when I was like 5 to 7 years old. And he would dress me up like in like pageant dresses, you
Like
know, like
John Benet
really.
Ramsey.
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
yeah, kind of like that, you know. I would say, you know, like she's dressed up, and so they're presenting her like as a gift. But I would go in to these targeted people. I would target men at the, like, keep seeing the Playboy Mansion looking place, you know, something like that. I don't know where I was, because that's not. I don't ever remember where I'm at or anything like that, because they just take me there, tell me where to go to, and where the person is and all that. Like somebody's always leading me to where I need to go, because I'm just a little kid. And then so I would give the man an aneurysm, you know, and he would drop down like dead, or do whatever I needed to do. Some of that's not
So,
clear. That
and
part of me
Christy,
is like blanked out, you know.
Yes.
and these are separate missions sometimes because on the one hand you're being sent out as a gift to these
Yeah.
supposed Illuminati elite P file rings,
Mhm.
okay,
Mhm.
and then on the other hand you're being taken on missions to cause aneurysms and
Yeah.
by using psychic abilities,
Yeah,
and
it's
I
all
know you also
blackmail.
and you would also do similar missions with your Raylene altar at the Montauk
Yeah.
Project,
Mhm.
with where they would send you out with Arkeem, for example, right?
Yes.
But in the case where they had you do aneurysms as your honeypot altar, were they similar circumstances or was it different?
No, it's similar, you know, because we can be where the man is abusing me, sexually abusing me, and then I can just walk out of the room and do it just then. I'm not even looking at him, you know, and then he just has an aneurysm and drops down, and then they just thought he had a heart attack or something,
Right.
you know. So not they wouldn't know what happened at all. They would not expect that I did that, you know. Um, and
No, no.
it's
One
covered up,
question, Christy.
anyways, you know. There's no that's a target. That person's
Right.
targeted. So most of those people there know that that's the target's the only person who doesn't know he's a target. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Because I was at to say, you know, why go to the extent of sending you in as a child to be abused by that person, and then
Yeah.
after you're abused, have you cause an aneurysm? Why not just
Yeah.
have you or someone else cause an aneurysm from the get
Yeah.
go and spare
Well,
you the horror?
yeah. Well, because it was all filmed and everything too. So part
Filmed
of
it.
that's going to be used as blackmail for other people as well. So it's a whole network of these men who go to these places, and then these little kids like I was are sent to do the blackmail with it's filmed, and then they're most of the time it's just doing sex with the guy with the men, you know, and then that's all filmed, just like the P Diddy stuff and just like everything Epstein and all that going on. So it's it's everywhere. And then so George Bush, though, he would get, it was like he was getting credits or points or so for how all the kids that he owns or so, because I know he owned also Angie Dollar, and I think also Katie, she's also, so I've ran into a few people who recognize George Bush Sr. and that psych ward too, that they remember being there as well. And not when I was there though, but they remember through me showing my drawings and stuff too. So the drawings kind of help. So then after this honeypot's going to these places, then he sold me to um I I could swear it's probably Epstein, you know, something like
Okay.
that. Because Spencer Howell remembers seeing me at Epstein. I didn't remember where I even was, but I was in a
And
mansion place.
Spencer Howe is another member of our community who's SSP, Secret Space Program, and who was
So this is like
also
the
put through the
room.
MK Ultra abuse.
And this is where George Bush would come in and bring me like a little jewelry piece, you know, little gifts and stuff like that. So I just stayed in my room and I still was doing the honeypot stuff, but this is more of a different place. I wasn't in an abandoned psych ward anymore. I was in like a mansion. So that's when he said he seen me there at the Epstein place, then I thought of that, you know, because it was a man and I didn't really have much interaction with the man who had purchased me from George Bush Sr. And I don't know how much, nothing like that is ever shown to me of how much he's given or nothing like that. You know, I just know that I just did the job there. Um, and then when that was after that, that was like from age 8 to like 8 years old. And then that wasn't very long at that place. Then this was like from 9 to 10, I was sent to like a military school place. And I think this is for more psionic training, and also physical, because I was getting to be a different age, you know, almost like uh almost puberty time, you know. And I just remember doing like the obstacle courses and doing remote viewing. And I remember George Bush Sr., he would call on the phone and just check on me. He would call and talk to me, and he would just making sure I was doing a good job. And these are all abandoned buildings, like an abandoned place, you know? So nobody's there, but just, and the whole place isn't occupied either. It's just like one building, and it's with a training center, you know,
Okay.
with kids. And then so after this, then I'm 11 years old, and this is the Mothers of Darkness. This house though is like the it looks like the Bates Hotel. That's
Oh
what it
wow.
looked like to me. So when I got there, then this is what the layout kind of looked like too, where you walk in and then go up the stairs, and then my room was up here on the left hand side,
It's like
and
a
I had
large Victorian building,
mhm,
like a large. Okay.
yeah, and I had to share a room with two girls that was already there, in that house, and they were like the Cinderella's stepsisters. They was, I talked about that before, how they messed with my food and my clothes, so I would get in trouble because it's all like of points, that I was being graded on of how good I behaved and how I kept my clothes and how I performed. You know, how many children I could produce, and you know, they would always have those abortions and stuff like that after.
And this was
Well,
a
this
point
is
system where Christie's honeypot altar was
I'll go
in
back.
competition with the other girls. And it
Yeah.
was literally a life and death competition over the course of the season while they're all
To see
being
who could honeypot the most men.
Yes.
It was most men, yeah. Because they're more in positions of high ranking and what I do remember Hillary Clinton, but she's on a different place, and I didn't have
Yes,
her
you
to
need
go
to be in a
target.
different place.
Yeah, she's a crazy person. But
Everyone's
I'll
afraid
go
of
back
Hillary
to this.
Clinton in the programs, by the way, because she's known to be so nasty.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Well, there's a
everybody likes
Fraggle
to-
drip, which was leaked about her and Huma Abedin, who is now with Soros's son, basically peeling off the face of a child
Yeah.
in order to achieve the adrenochrome, massive effects of adrenochrome. And there were people that was on allegedly on an Anthony Weiner laptop marked insurance. And by the way, Anthony Weiner is he not running for office again, David?
He is running for
Oh.
some local office in New York. Yes.
Wow.
Believe it or not.
Wow. But I remember her on another planet, like it was a secret space program, being at the brothels and stuff, Hillary Clinton, and she would call at the brothel place that I worked at and order girls from that strip club place.
Mhm.
And I would have to assist them to be like a chaperone to those girls because I'd already been there for a long time. And she would order these girls, and she was like a succubus. She would
She is a
put like
succubus.
yeah, she would open up herself and she would stuff people inside of her or something. So I always had to make sure all of the girls came back. Though she had guys there at her mansion place, but they were really feminine guys, and so she really doesn't like masculine men at
No,
all. She does
Zalezik, she
not.
is also gay,
Yeah,
lesbian.
100%. Definitely. And she would have all kinds of weird stuff going on, like blood girls, like there was her girls there that lived there, and then she ordered more for partying. So that's a different um that's another 20 and back or some kind of a memory of being in the brothel places. That's what the SSP though. So I left this part. This is when George Bush was picking me up. That's George Bush out there waiting for me to be picked up at that when I was 8 years old. And then he was taking me to the place with Epstein here. Yeah, we were just moving around there. So, and I even put Spanish style homes. So I'm pretty sure that is Epstein. I would think it was. I didn't hear their name or nothing like that, so I don't
Like
know
that
for
could have been
sure.
maybe the Zorro Ranch, perhaps, Christy, because
It
I
could have
understand the
been.
Zorro Ranch has Spanish colonial
Yeah.
architecture there.
Yeah, could have been
The
too.
Epstein, because everyone's
Yeah.
familiar with Epstein Island, but not everyone's as familiar with Zorro
Okay.
Ranch. I believe that's also where Justice Scalia died as well while on a hunting trip visiting there.
No, he wasn't at
Was it
Epstein's
different
ranch.
ranch? I'm sorry, it was a
No,
different ranch.
he was actually, I believe, I think it was in Texas at another venue. I'll look it up while you guys are talking.
That's what it was. I
Yeah.
take that back. Yes, please.
Maybe
please
instead of
correct that.
Epstein Ranch with the Chicken Ranch.
Oh yeah.
The chicken
Mhm.
ranch.
They have a famous
then-
brothel there in Texas called the Chicken Ranch. Remember?
Oh, I didn't know that.
That was kind of like a prostitution ranch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
So this is at the now at the Mothers of Darkness. Then I'm like 11 till age 13. So they have parties and we have to dress up like this here with the furs and look older than we are, and then these rituals are being performed where they have us laying on the table there, and then a whole bunch of well, it is a party like men and women there too, so they all kind of shapeshift, but the men are doing the impregnating all the young girls there who they're all coming in from different houses too. So it's like a network of these houses, and all of us girls are all dressed up the same, kind of style too, for like they have different kinds of nights and stuff of what you have to wear and all that. And
Mhm.
you're dressed and everything has to look perfect. You know, if you have a rip in your dress, or if something is wrong, then you just get thrown in the dungeon and you're going to be in big time trouble, you know.
Do
So
they
that
actually have
happened.
they have a dungeon type thing
Yeah.
structure?
Yeah,
Wow.
it's down in the basement, and it's just like a jail cell, and they just throw all of the girls down there after the party too. So it's a big frenzy when that's happening too, when they have all of us laying down on, like, it's like a long table, and we're all laying there. And then I saw that Farrah Fawcett as one of the mothers, like the performing, like she's a high priestess performing the ceremony, and
Fair.
whatever she was saying. Yeah,
I love
and
her.
yeah, and just the whole frenzy of it is, it's just, and it's so stressful because all we all have to be able to produce the babies, you know, every single time there's a party, and then they take it out of us too, you know. So it's like, how many babies can you produce in your time there? And it's like a point. That's how he would come in and check my points and check how I was doing, George Bush, and talk to the mother there, and she would tell him how I was doing and stuff. And even though those girls messed with me, I still won over them, because at the end of that, then there was like a big event, like a I saw a circus tent, and everybody who's in all the houses came there to with their owner. So I was with George Bush and senior, and we were walking in, and he's giving an envelope to a lady that's over here, and it has like a check in it, and who, you know, if I won first, second, or third place. So it's like all these girls in this whole tent, and then with their owner, and then the mothers too, or someplace else. I didn't see where the mothers are, but they're kind of over separated. So they're picking three of the top mothers and then three of the girls, and whoever doesn't win, they have to lay on the wheel. You know how they turn the wheel and throw the knives, the clown guy got, you know how they do that.
Yeah.
He does that to all of them. He kills all of them who didn't make the top three, all the mothers and all of the girls. So then they have to just start over. Yeah.
And guys,
And
this is what I understand. This is very, not only is it satanic practice, it's also very draconian, reptilian practice, where
mhm.
they will literally feed on their own weak as a point of pride to make their race stronger.
Wow.
And this
I
is
Yeah.
just
that
I
sort
just
of
wanted to
practice.
add Justice Scalia died in his sleep at age 79. I'm just going to throw in with a pillow over his face. His body was
Oh,
discovered on the morning of February 13, 2016 in his room at Cibolo Creek Ranch near Schaefer, Texas. He'd gone quail hunting the afternoon before, then dined as a guest of John B. Poindexter, which you might want to look him up. He discovered the body, and he was reluctant to say who had died. And then the marshal service called the ranch owner, and both of the marshals and the sheriff went to the ranch. And the person who actually pronounced him dead of natural causes, her name was Cinderella,
wow.
Cinderella Guevara.
Hmm.
It's all very, very.
That.
Even Trump had mentioned, yeah, that's really weird. He died with a pillow over his face.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah. Well, this then after that ceremony at the circus, then I had won one of the top three places. So George Bush he got up on the stage with me, and he was saying like whatever his speech was, and how grateful or whatever, like he got recognized for his production, you know, like the the girls, and how well, and these other two girls, they belong to someone else too. So I didn't see where their owner was or how much or nothing. I just followed George Bush senior, and so he was happy that I had won first place, because I always wanted to just do so good for him, and he made it like it was like more of a dad. He was like a dad. He would say, "Call me father," and
Uh-oh.
and it
You
was
know
like
who
a
else said
We
that?
know that one. That was
You
John
know who else said
Podesta.
that? Yes, John Podesta. Come,
Call
I
me
am
Papa.
your father. I am your daddy.
Right.
Oh yeah.
Luke,
He
I
would.
am your father.
Yeah, but he had me like a love affair, so I didn't want to disappoint him. Like he had some kind of a spell or something in a way, you know what I
It's
mean?
called
Like a
sex
love
magic.
spell. Yeah. So after this Mothers of Darkness, then they take me to a military base. It's like a hangar base, and there's a whole bunch of kids here now. This is where I seen James Rink, and James Rink was my training partner too. So we would sit outside at this hangar bay out here and at a table, and we were being taught how to remote view by a tall gray was our teacher, and there was two other people here too beside us outside, and that tall gray would just kind of walk around us, and then inside we can go in here inside the hangar and then be taken down, and then there was a reptilian that's in a investigation room, and we're all taught to go in, we're all lined up to go into the investigation room one by one, and he's teaching us how to give a psionic attack, like, or block it. So he's teaching us how to give it, and also he's gonna give us one, and we have to learn how to block it, and then also think of something else too when they're trying to read our mind. um then we're taught to think of something else so they can't read our mind
Like
either.
nursery rhymes and stuff, right?
It could be anything, like just thinking of an ice cream or something else, like anything like that. So he
And
has
for
to be able
Christy,
to interrogate us, and then he cannot. We have to beat him.
right.
We have to beat him
and
like
and
that.
I'm running into a lot of testimonies from people in the secret space programs who are encountering these reptilians, and it's a very common scenario where the reptilians, because they're so powerful psionically, they often act as trainers, where they'll psionically attack you and brutalize you. And on the one hand, it can be a method of attacking and punishing people. On another way, they do it to train assets, quote unquote, such as Christy here, or James Rink, who's of supersoldiertalk.com, to be able to deal with psionics, because the reptilians are known to be so psionically powerful
Hmm.
that they can
Yeah,
take over your mind
yeah, yeah. You
and
see
mess
how he's
you up.
influencing, like he's teaching how to do the influencing too. Where we're just kind of thinking of other stuff, or he just is always doing things that mind games and mind tricks, just so I learn how to do that.
Now, Christy, we know he was a reptilian. Do you know if he was like a Draco reptilian, one of the higher caste, or you're not
I
sure?
think it's just like a military person who's there to teach those kids, because all the kids have to learn how to do that. And then I remember James Rink, he was smaller than me there, and he was scared of the reptilians, because and then since he was showing that he was scared, they would always mess with him and torture him and stuff. And then I was taken up for him at first, and then I started becoming a target too, because I was helping him, like stand up for yourself, and or tell them not to do that or whatever, and so they would pin me and him against each other, like saying she's saying this about you, like that kind of a game thing too. But he eventually um kind of grew up a lot, like, so he wasn't um so scared all the time,
And in
because I
Draco
couldn't always
reptilian
do that.
culture, in Draco culture, it's a big thing to stand up for yourself, because
Yeah,
there's another Earth timeline where they beat up on Earth, but the humans rise up and stand up to the Draco. And even though a lot of humans do end up dying, at the end of the day, humanity earns the respect of the Draco. And instead
yeah,
of eliminating everyone on the planet like they initially threatened, they say, "Oh, if you stand up to us, we'll wipe you out." What they essentially do is, yeah, a lot of humans die, but then it's like, imagine a giant reptilian grabbing a little kid and giving him a noogie and saying, "Good job, humans. You stood up for yourselves. We respect you now. You're still under us, but you get to live." And it's really funny. the way, I mean, not funny, but kind of the way it works, where if you show weakness, the reptilians, they'll eat you.
Mhm.
But if
Yeah.
you show strength and you earn their
Mhm.
respect, they will also treat
Oh,
you
yeah.
as such.
Yeah, I've never been afraid because I was really taught a lot of different things by George Bush Sr. Like he did a lot of mind manipulating things, so I just blocked it all out, or I wasn't scared to die or nothing like that whole time, and I just
Did
stood
you ever
up for
see?
myself.
Did you ever see George Bush Sr. himself shapeshift?
Possibly, but
Okay,
not in the full. Like he
Yeah,
might have
many people
just
said
been,
he shapeshifts into a reptilian, as does the queen.
during
yeah.
rituals. Did you ever see the Queen? Because many people have recall of being just like you're ordered to call George Bush Sr. father. Many
Yeah.
people were handled and
Mm-mm.
were ordered to call Queen Elizabeth mother.
I didn't see her ever, you know. I just seen him, and they just kept me as him as the main father figure person for me this whole time. And he calls and checks on me, and or I'll talk to him on the phone or something. He's always in contact each step of the way. And then at the end of this military training, then they have another ceremony. And so me and James Rink, we are like the top position is what I'm recalling on that. And so but James has a different handler. He's not, George Bush isn't his handler, but his handler's there with him. And then George Bush with me, and George Bush is given another recognition, like another check and all that too. And then he tells me that like we're going to he's given clones, is what I recall, given clones to make, and he can go to the moon and Mars to do different things. But I recall being with him on Mars. He has like a cloning facility on Mars where he makes it's like a whole factory, and I'm like a programmer in the computer, programming the consciousness of all these. And I seen it like there's like records of people who've been abducted into the programs and everything. And I'm like a hacker taking all those people's consciousness from another place. So I'm kind of stealing some people's consciousness, and then I'm making these, like doing different things with that and putting them in new clones. And this is like a order, like they're ordering these clones out in space. Like they want a whole like shipment of Britany Spears or something like that. So there's like different things going on all at the center at this cloning facility. And then they want them to be different, like military people or whatever they're ordering, you know. So
So
that's a
with
big
it,
operation.
so the cloning technology, and we hear people like Donald Marshall is another person who's not even SSP as far as I know, Secret Space Program, but yet Donald Marshall speaks a lot about the Vril underground and the cloning centers with these the Illuminati cabal, and Mars is also known for being a facility with a lot of secret space program technology, nasty cloning centers. A lot of this is depicted in the video game Doom. The Doom series is supposed to be disclosure about the nasty stuff the secret space programs are doing
Yes,
with the reptilians on Mars.
absolutely.
And so what other people in our community have testified to is, the creation of these clone bodies and then having their consciousness transferred into these clone bodies. And it sounds like, Christy was
Hmm.
part of that process as a technician there.
Hmm. Yeah, because I know that I've also been on Mars as a super soldier, and they would send me out training to attack and do different things with the praying mantis and or different groups. And just I would always die out on the battlefield, and then they would regenerate me. You know, so they did that a lot to me as well. So I think that was a different memory though. That's another
Susan Long has
thing.
recall of being on Mars with a group, and they were being made to attack some of the native population. And
Hmm.
they, during this chasing the native population, they got attacked by the spiders on Mars that David Bowie, who was also in the program, sings about. They're literally
That makes
space
sense.
spiders. Mars.
Mhm.
And Susan Long recalls getting stung by one of these giant spiders. And at the point they sting you, it's really painful and you're paralyzed. So she remembers falling to the ground and over the radio hearing people say, "Oh, just leave her. She's a goner." And her
Oh, wow.
trauma twin, who is also there as a battle group, saying "F that." And she remembers him picking her up and sticking her on his shoulder and feeling his shoulder digging into her rib while she's bouncing and being carried by him on Mars. And there are many people. Arkin Ra has recollection of being on Mars and having a telepathic spider because on the universal language out there in space is telepathy.
Yes.
And the spiders on Mars are considered the kind of indigenous wildlife that can be pets to not only the native species who are telepathic, but also some of the humans who colonize Mars apparently can form bonds with these spiders.
You know, that makes sense because there are these humongous, like 6-foot statues of spiders that are all over Earth.
Well, Arkin says they got easily that big, 12 feet high, bigger.
Some people have seen those spiders in other countries in the Middle East, live spiders that are 13 feet high. Are they extraterrestrial then?
I'm not sure because on Mars, the spiders, they look like spiders, but I think they're different. They're different. Like
genetically modified, I think. Genetically
they
modified.
They put saddles on them to ride. What Arkin says is really funny in that they use the space spiders on Mars as drug mules.
Makes
Because
sense.
imagine you're telepathically bonded with a spider, okay, and you can
Yeah,
tell
who's going to want to mess with you?
exactly. Well, you're sitting in your base, and you can tell your spider wherever it is, somewhere else on the planet, go here. These people are going to load up contraband or drugs on you on your back, and then march across the desert that way. Okay, and then now if any of the authorities running that Mars colony catches that spider, what do? It's like a dog with like cocaine package strapped to it.
Yeah.
What are you going to do? Throw the dog in jail? You just take the cocaine and let the dog go.
Yeah.
And so he says it's kind of hilarious that is a thing. Drug mule spiders.
I have some of my drawings if you wanted to see that now.
Please.
Yes,
End on a
please.
positive note, you know. So these are some of the books that I've made. So this is like my praying mantis watching over me throughout my lifetime here on Earth. So I made a book of
Christy,
this.
so then on the one hand, people who are inducted into the programs as children and are put through horrendous satanic abuse and all that, that's the horrible side of being a starseed. But then a more positive side is that because of past lives and different incarnations and lineages, we have maybe encountered positive spiritual ET beings, such as some of the more wise, positive mantis beings. And so
it's like
even
star
though as
family, like
children,
intergalactic.
right. So even as a human child, you can be put through all these terrible, horrific experiences. You can still the whole time have star family who are there spiritually holding our hands.
Those are such great pictures, man. You're an awesome artist.
Thank you.
Oh yeah,
This
got
is
light
more of
language and
like
stuff.
channeled because I know I'm a galactic ambassador, you know, with all these beings. Mostly Lyran
You do Christmas
DNA.
cards?
Well,
I haven't done anything with them yet.
Yeah, Chrissy's got an amazing wealth of art that I would love to help her get out there into the homes of people, and she should make a wonderful living off of that. This is a trend.
Seriously, you should do like birthday cards and Christmas cards with some of these extraterrestrial figures.
Yeah, you
personalized
don't ever
messages.
see that. Yeah.
Personalized messages from Positive Galactic.
Yes, for sure.
Yes. Yeah, because they're telling a story about many come to observe and take notes on Earth people. So there's many different extraterrestrials that have just observed and watch over their star seeds. And so this is like some blue beings with their cat.
Have you ever thought of writing writing like a story to go along with these and publishing a book?
All right, yeah, writing a book.
Most definitely. Most definitely. That's in the works now that I have more time to do these kinds of projects, you know. I can do the artwork and all that, but doing the computer stuff of publishing, that's the thing that I haven't really had much experience doing. So this is my house here out in the country, and you know, so they come around more here because there's nobody to really pay
Now,
attention
Christy,
to if
which
they're
is this?
seen.
Is this an altar of yours in the programs who are getting to experience these beings, or are they coming and taking you while you're asleep in the here and now, and you're getting to visit
Yeah,
places? How are you
this
encountering
is
these beings?
this is just in my memories, my mind, and then these are like channeled of the my memories of all of them too, and my son, and then his all of his little ET Grays, and so I know that I'm taken in astral, but I don't always remember what's going on there, you know. And I know that I have a portal like right in my yard. I opened it up and I invited all of them like an intergalactic kind of meeting and stuff like that for them to come and visit me anytime they want to, you know. So I kind of
So,
did that.
so this is a thing where time and space aren't really real, and you can step out of time as we know it,
Yes.
or in our sleep. The positive galactics, they're able to take us in our sleep because we're multidimensional beings. That's why we go places in our dreams. And
Yes.
so a lot of times sleep time is a good time to be visited and go places by our intergalactic family.
And all the information. So these are I draw the beings first, and then all their information that they want to share,
And
and they're
holding that
all
up, Christy,
different.
like you'll see a lot of times spiral forms appearing in Christie's artwork. And
Hmm.
I want to admonish the audience that in the here and now on Earth, the FBI has already shown that P files, they like to use the spiral as their symbol. And what that is they are distorting, inverting, and perverting a sacred symbol. The spiral is generally universally used as a symbol for portals.
Right. Well, they use it for different reasons. They take
Well,
something like Jesus takes what is meant for evil and turns it to good,
right.
and then Satan does the converse.
Right. And
Yes.
what the evil ones are doing is they're taking children, and by molesting them, they're using children as portals. So
Yes.
that's why the P file symbol is a swirl, but that spiral swirl rightfully is a symbol of
Hmm.
portals to other
Yeah,
places.
yeah. It's gonna be like because I it's also with Reiki as well, you know. Like it's also healing. The spirals are healing.
So you want to describe that? What is this? Is this a craft visiting and
Uh huh.
delivering healing energy?
Yeah, this is like a portal in my yard, and then it just comes through there, and then they'll just come in through that portal there too.
And what are the messages that they're trying to convey right there, Christy? Like you had that the
I
light
just tell
language
them to
there.
come and visit me. I They just given like their information, and so this
Like,
is
do you know
my
what the
house.
codes are? Like the codes that are
Mm-mm,
depicted there, it looks like
no.
hieroglyphics. Do you have
Oh yeah.
any? Are you able to
Um.
intuit like what that language is saying, if that's a language?
It's more just the energy, you know, of it. It's not anything English. It's just the energy.
Okay, more like downloads,
Energy. Yeah.
like where you're getting information, but it's not necessarily in a verbal format.
I feel it. I feel it more in my heart than in something I don't even know an interpretation, you know.
Okay,
Um
that then I interpret that. That sounds like healing light codes, perhaps.
mhm. Yeah, see the portal with the praying mantis, so that's in my yard.
And so, Christy, are these
Wow.
beings like the positive mantis beings and
Uh-huh.
grays, for example, are they visiting you throughout your life and throughout your trials and tribulations as your altars are dealing with these things? Are these like
Yeah.
respite for your galactic family, or dropping by
Galactic
and
family. Yeah.
offering a
Yeah,
little bit of relief?
they're
You know, and,
interdimensional, so I don't see them physically. I just see them in my mind, you know? Like they're there, they're here now. You know what I mean? Like I can see them in my mind now. So this is
like you
something
can
I'm
connect.
shown too
So you're able to
as a
connect
base.
with them.
So if you were connecting with them now, do they have any galactic message for our people in this time of turmoil, but yet peace on Earth?
They like I don't ever hear anything of worldwide. It's more of a support person, like a mother watching over her daughter or something like that. So it's kind of like in that way. They're not. It's more of like the Lyran or so, more higher up. That would be like my higher self would be more of a person that would give me like a message for world peace or so. But I had a hypnosis done by Angie Dollar, and the Lyrans were just saying, because I could see that everybody could do what, like connecting with your higher self and
Yes.
communicating with your higher self, and I was seeing that everybody can do that if they want.
Yes.
If they want to connect with their higher self, it's just meditating and then just seeing yourself connected to like your soul star or however, and you just start to feel it like a little bit of tingly in your head, and then you just connect with your higher self. And
I just remember the when I was coming out of MK Ultra and I was driving through Vegas, and I had seen this. It's a restaurant that's a train, and it's called Penny's Restaurant. And I sat outside of it and I looked in it. I just ordered a drink and I was thinking, I'm not going in there. If I go in there, they're going to abduct me. I'm not coming out. And I had heard a voice. It wasn't my voice, and I'm not schizophrenic, but I heard a voice say, I'd like to go back to Area 51. It was nicer there.
oh
I'll never forget
yeah,
that. And I was just like,
yeah,
okay,
mhm,
what?
yeah,
I would like to go back
maybe.
to Area 51. It was nicer there. And so I don't know. It was a government intervention that was trying to the government was trying to contact me through, either implants or through V2K or through, through my phone, through telephonic abilities, or was it actually an extraterrestrial experience that I'm talking to someone that's saying, you know, I'm
Mhm.
wherever I am, because there are many SGs. So 50 area 54, is it 54 51, area 51, it's just one of many SGs, and
Are you talking Stargates?
they're all
When you
over
say when you say SG, are you saying Stargate?
secret government
Okay,
facilities.
okay, like a dumb. Get that
Yes,
ground.
and so that's the most prevalent one, the one that the public knows about. But there are other ones. So was I in a specific strategic place where this particular trapped entity was and was calling out to me and saying, "Hey, I know you can hear me, Biddy. I'd
Mhm.
like to actually, if you know anybody that you can talk to, I'd like to actually go back to Area 51 because wherever I am now, this sucks."
Well, what if that place was like a cloak or like a something that you were seeing, but it was something else, but Penny, it's called Penny, so it got your attention,
True.
so you could communicate with that being.
Yes.
Like that being may have done that so they could give you that
Yes,
message
I
too,
mean it's a real restaurant. They're train restaurants, but it was
Mhm.
abandoned. There was
Yeah.
nobody there, and I sat outside drinking my drink, looking at it, going, "I'm not going
Yeah.
in there
Yeah.
because if
I
I
know.
go in there, I'm going to get abducted, and I'm not
Yeah,
coming out. And this is a fake front." And you get
mhm.
to a point where even with logical discernment, you still question everything.
Yeah,
What
yeah.
what Arkeem
Mhm.
says is that there are some facilities and places, the most innocuous places, like a public school, where you could go into the bathroom, and it's like Men in Black. Apparently, like if you turn some faucets the right way and do the
Yes,
right signal or say the right code word, a portal will open, or you'll be
yes,
Mhm. In the mirror.
transported
Mhm.
somewhere. I'm
Mhm.
sure Chrissy can attest to that. Can
yes.
you talk about, Chrissy, what it's like using portal travel as you remember it?
Well, it just is kind of, I'm thinking like when you was pulling up to that place there and it says pennies, but it's abandoned. And then that's kind of, it just is like that, just a veil, it's just right there. And if you would have went in, you would have been in another place. I bet,
Probably that was my
Mhm.
feeling, Christy.
Mhm. Yeah. So that would be like a portal right there. So it's just
Yes.
that simple, it's just altering the reality to
That was
another
my actual
reality.
feeling. If I went in there, I was going to probably disappear into a portal or get kidnapped by Men in Black, and I wasn't having it that day.
Mhm.
Now,
Yeah.
one thing is
Yeah.
with Christie's positive galactic family visiting her. This is a trend that I seem to have noticed is a lot of the people who have survived the programs and projects, it seems like they didn't do it alone. And they themselves will admit that. Though a lot of
Right.
times they had the support of their star family, who, if it wasn't for their star family, they would have died in the Montauk chair, or they
Yes.
would have been eaten by reptilians, or any number of horrible things. But
And it's funny because they are actually strangers, but they become acquaintances. And so I think maybe that's why many of us still on this planet accept strangers into our lives who become friends, perhaps because of that fact that there were those who saved us in these projects.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I got chills when saying that
Your
too.
kindred
'Cause
spirits.
we'll
Yeah.
accept somebody who we can feel their heart connection, even though they might do drugs and they need a place to stay or something like that. You can just feel that they are compassionate people and they've had a rough time, because usually if they take drugs, it's to mask something from pain. You know, they felt some kind of a pain before, so they're taking drugs or drinking or something to try to numb this pain or memories, you know.
So what
So
our team is finding is a lot of these homeless people who may be schizophrenic or bipolar and they're raving, many of them have been put through the programs.
Yes.
mhm,
A lot more
yeah,
than one would
definitely.
think. And that's how they
Mhm.
ended up where they are, and mentally devastated the way they are now.
Yeah.
And so
Or
I'm really
as
glad
guinea
Christy,
pigs, you know, like guinea pigs, they're picked up and done all these things to and then put back, or given
dumped.
drugs and then dumped back. Yeah. So they've been
Exactly.
through a lot of things and now they're drug addicts because they were that, you know, something's gone on and they're
Yes.
trying to figure it out.
This
Well,
So
is
unfortunately,
testimony to
guys,
how strong your
unfortunately,
mind
we're
is.
running out of time. We just have a few more minutes. So, Christy, where can people
Mhm.
find you, and how can they purchase your art if they'd like to?
Yeah.
You can find me on christy.campbell.11@gmail. That's my email there. And if they wanted to contact me, then I can start figuring out how to get all this out. Maybe Brian can start helping me with that too, with the internet, with posting it and stuff like that, because I
I'll
have all
link
the
you up with
stuff.
the right people,
And
Christy.
yeah, I can take photos of it or scan it. You know, I can do all
Yeah,
these things.
we're gonna
And
scan
yeah,
all your stuff and then do personalized. We got
yeah.
there's so much you can
hmm
do. And
So
Christy will
there's a
be
lot of
joining
stuff
us.
coming out. Yeah.
Yes,
You're
you
gonna be
can
at our
you can start a
conference.
free blog, and you can actually post those things in a free blog, and I can help you with that as well. Brian,
Oh
where can
yeah.
people find you?
Yeah, I'm going to be hosting the 2025 Full Disclosure Now conference once again in St. Pete Beach, Florida, at the lovely Serrata Beach Resort, July 15th to 18th. Christy Campbell will be joining us as one of our panelists for the Montauk panel we'll be doing on the main galactic stage during the event. And so I hope to see all of you there. Please get your Super Soldier early bird tickets at fulldisclosuremovement.org.
It's and I'm still considering joining you in some capacity, if not physically, then perhaps via Zoom. I would love to, to be a part of this, because this is, I talked to another individual who's going to be joining us. She was a former Fox on-air news reporter, and she's going to be joining the Awake Nation. And she's been in disclosure, and also she's working on MK Ultra deprogramming. So I will go ahead and send your information to her as well, because I think she would also make a very good asset to your Disclosure Now conference. It's what you do is extremely important, Brian. That's why we have you every week, because the disclosure that you are bringing forth isn't just disclosure on one thing. You're saying we want full disclosure on all of the lies. And so you're an extremely important component in this disclosure world. And I thank you for all of the work that you're doing, and for being so diligent, and for joining our show, Awake Nation, and also Agent X11. Most appreciated. Christy Campbell, I thank you. And I wish
Thank you for
both
having
of
me.
you and your families happy holidays, a Merry Christmas.
Baby's first Christmas for Brian.
Yeah,
baby's
Yeah.
baby's first Christmas. And I want to see some baby's first Christmas videos.
You got it.
And I thank you both most heartedly for joining us. And Christy, I look forward to seeing you again
Yes.
on Agent X11.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you so
Thank
much.
you.
Solar Bee out.
I love Brian.
Yeah, he's cool, man. He's really cool, and we're glad to have him on. I do have a quick breaking news story that does not pertain to this particular show, but we didn't. It came on since we did the last Awake Nation for the year. Fani Willis, by a federal judge, has been disqualified from continuing her prosecution of Donald Trump, so the case is now effectively dead.
Oh my God. Thank you. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. What you talking about, Fani Willis?
That's right.
So, David, can you tell people where they can join us? Because we are on vacation officially after this show.
We are on vacation. Although, are you doing any Agent X11s while we're off?
I will be posting some Agent X11, so I will be continuing. I'm going to have some different people on.
Are you doing one tomorrow?
Yes, I am. I'm doing I'm probably going to do 3 of them tomorrow.
Okay. So folks, even though the Awake Nation is on vacation, Agent X11 will not be. So join Penny on her Agent X11 channel on Rumble for some great conversations with that. In the meantime, we, the Awake Nation, are going on vacation. I'm going on vacation. We're not going anywhere. I'll be home. In fact, I'll be preparing. Some of this is going to be a working vacation too, because I'm preparing for our new hours, which will begin Monday, January the 6th, from 6 to 10 a.m. Eastern, Monday through Friday on Rumble and BitChute and a couple of other places. Also, we'll be joining Frank Speech. Our show will be on there as well, and a couple of other places. And Spotify will be joining there. So it all starts Monday, January 6th. And in the meantime, I just want to wish everyone a peaceful, pleasant, blessed Christmas and a happy new year.
And we are out of time, David Zublik. So
we are out of here. Zublik out.
Shepherd out.
Goodbye for today from Agent X11, Hollywood Dark Journalist. We post new episodes daily. Please watch our main show, David Zublik's Awake Nation, on the David Zublik channel on Rumble. We are live Monday through Friday, 9 a.m. to 12 noon Eastern.